I'm using my background as a physical therapist in order to analyze research papers and determine why the CDC says what they say about their testing that accurately is able to rule out a Lyme disease diagnosis. The CDC recommends a 2-tier testing process, which involves step 1, the ELISA, which is a screening test. When if you get an equal or positive result on that test, then you can go on to the second part of that test, which is the Westren Blot, that will confirm a diagnosis. The main article I'm looking at is on the CDC website from 2014. It's the most recent article that they have on why they recommend what they recommend for Lyme disease diagnostic testing. Their other studies have actually been from in the 1990s. There's very few Lyme disease articles that have been done recently. Since the year 2000, there's actually been over 1,200 articles done on mostly Ebola and diagnostics. Since the year 2000, probably the very most papers are done on Lyme disease have been like 5 or 6. So you're talking about 1,200 plus compared to 5 or 6 research articles. There's a huge gap. We're going to work with what we have. We'll work with the 2014 article that the CDC has posted on the website, and I will also link the article below so you guys can look at it yourself. Just to summarize the study a little bit about what I concluded with it, I'm just going to get straight to the point. In late stage Lyme patients, in order to qualify for this study, they had to test positive with the Westren Blot to even get in the study. It was a qualifying factor. With late stage Lyme patients, if they tested positive earlier in the symptomatic picture, they'll also test positive later. But what if you're symptomatic with Lyme and you might have it, you might not? And what if you're infected by a strain that does not get picked up? This test does not pick up every single strain. This study completely eliminates patients that actually test negative the first time around. So therefore, we are not looking at the full Lyme patient population. But yet the CDC can make this basically a generalized statement saying that this test is very accurate for late stage Lyme patients. Well, of course you're going to test positive if you've already tested positive. And the problem is that the doctors rely on what the CDC says. They essentially don't look at the research in detail. These doctors have faith that this test is nearly 100% sensitive in order to rule out a Lyme disease diagnosis when you get a negative test.